Hi sir, thank you for giving us the interview on Siachen Glacier. Sir, the Indian Army sensed that Pakistan was planning to invade into Siachen Glacier and launch Operation Meghdoot to take full control of the glacier in 1984. It is said that we promptly did this before Pakistan by one day. There is a little bit about how important Operation Meghdoot was.
So in 1980s, there was a report that Pakistan was making an effort to climb onto the Siachen glacier and control it from there. So initially they were sending out tourists, the trekkers to this place, but it had security implications. So Indian Army conducted this operation to get to the top and hold it for itself. So from that day onwards, Pakistan has complained that Indian Army went and captured it, and it originally belonged to them. It's not the case. If you look at the line, the LOC draws, which was drawn in 1972, and if you go beyond NJ 9482 or something like that, I'm forgetting the coordinate. So if you look at the LOC, the end point that has been mutually agreed, it goes northward. So if it goes northward, then it takes Siachen glacier with it, and it has a lot of strategic relevance because at that height you can control the northern areas of Jammu and Kashmir, the Gilgit-Baltistan area and beyond. So point is, it is a very strategic location, and Indian Army did what it did in the interest of India's strategic interests. The Pakistan has been always grieving about it, but that was something that was done in the interest of Indian security, Indian national security, and we have held on to that till today.
Yeah, sir, we have become masters of mountain warfare in holding Siachen, but it has come at high cost. Tell us briefly about why Siachen is so important towards protecting Ladakh.
You see, because of its heights, it has a strategic advantage. Whosoever will control Siachen will have some strategic advantage associated with it. Yes, it has been a very, very costly exercise. We spend a lot of money to field our soldiers there, and the climate there is very, very inhospitable, and you would not expect countries to concede their strategic advantages only for the sake of some rupees. Resources will have to be allocated to guard your frontiers, and it has it has advantages on both sides. On the if you look towards Nubra Valley and towards Ladakh also, it has a lot of significance. And if Pakistan were to occupy it and hold it, then it will have negative consequence for India's security. And by India being in occupation or in control of Siachen, we have a strategic advantage in that sense.
We control all of the heights along the Saltoro Ridge and hold the advantage when looking down onto the Pakistan positions. With Pakistan becoming increasingly belligerent, is it not time to make our presence in POK from the height that we hold?
You see, we have undertaken a commitment. We have come out with a commitment to respect LOC. So our government has not shown any indication of violating that commitment. So I don't think whether we can go into POK and conquer those territories or realign those territories. I think that is something which Indian government has to decide, and at the moment we are committed to the Simla agreement. And the Simla agreement says that we will not go beyond LOC unless our strategic interests are hot, like you saw in the case of the Pulwama incident, that we chose to strike a target in deep inside Pakistan, going beyond POK, and our aircraft went into POK across LOC. But that was an isolated incident, and I don't think on Siachen we are trying to go beyond Siachen and descend into POK and occupy outposts there. That is I think beyond India's any strategic design as yet. So at the moment, there is no talk going on between India and Pakistan. So one would not be in a position to tell what are the demands of Pakistan and how India is going to react to them. But all said and done, from 1984, the position has been 84-85. The position has been Siachen rightfully is under Indian control and will continue to be in Indian control.
Yes, sir. So massive mountain peaks are only just a step away from Siachen, which is the most northern point of India. This includes Gasvaram 1 and K2, which is the second highest mountain in the world. Is it not the time that India tries to reclaim these great heights in POK?
You see, it is easier to say it on a map. On a map, you see that there is a line which goes from Siachen to Siachen and beyond to K2, and you can draw that imaginary line upward as well. But it is very difficult to actually hold those positions. It will require a lot of resources, lot of political will to do it. And at the moment, I don't think we are thinking in terms of holding on to different or going to these different points and holding them for the Indian Army or for India.
Yeah. So Pakistan illegally gave a chunk of Kashmir called the Sakshgam Valley to China. This has allowed them to create the Karakoram Pass linking both countries. What can India do by holding the heights to negate the connection between Pakistan and China and the Karakoram Pass?
You see, the Karakoram Pass was made available to them through this agreement in 1963. 1963, they came together and signed an agreement that the Sakshgam Valley will be under Chinese control. And that settled the border dispute between Pakistan and China to a certain extent. But in reality, the entire territory was they belonged to India legally, and Pakistan had no right to sign it off or sign it away. So India has over the years, India has always registered its official opposition to this issue. And we have always said that this was illegitimately done, and the territory should be returned to India. So in that sense, it is an occupied territory, China occupied territory. That is China occupied Kashmir, which we have not talked about. And that has given an opportunity for Pakistan and China to have a strategic corridor running through Sakshgam Valley. The point is, the Sakshgam Valley, as it stands today, is under Chinese occupation, and it provides an opportunity for Pakistan and China to build a corridor through it. And India has consistently opposed it, consistently registered its official opposition to this. First it was Karakoram Highway, now it is China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. But it passes through a disputed territory, and that has been the point that we have been making. We have been raging with the Chinese all the time, and we will continue to rage it. If you are talking about how Siachen would matter in all this, I don't think we intend to use the heights to snap the linkage between Pakistan and China. There are many people in Pakistan who think like that. They continue to argue that if they occupy the heights, they can cause harm to us. They can snap away this link by resorting to firing from top. But that is there's something which is not possible, and I don't think India is planning for that. We do say that this is our territory, but I do not think we intend to create any problems for China and Pakistan from this point of view. And the distance from Siachen to that place is also quite great. If there is a China-Pakistan collusion hitting at Indian interests, then only you can imagine this kind of a retaliatory or reactionary measure coming into play. But at the moment, I don't think it is in the works.
Yeah. So we have seen how Pakistan continues to make multiple terrorist camps all across the line of control and repeatedly try to infiltrate terrorists across the border. The government has made all the right steps with regard to striking into POK. They have even stated that now time to start process of incorporating POK back into India. How should we go about this?
You see, we are doing what we need to do and what we should be doing. Pakistan has disregarded our request, our warnings, our cautions, and tried to use terror as an instrument of its policy towards India. And they have tried to benefit from this. They have said that through only terror we can force India to talk to us. But that is not true. India has always expressed its desire to talk to Pakistan and resolve issues through dialogue. But Pakistan is a country which is hell-bent on using these terrorists and terrorism against India. We have seen it in Mumbai, we have seen it in Pathankot, in Uri, in Pulwama, and the count goes on. So that means Pakistan till today hasn't learnt its lessons, and they'll continue to do this. And we have demonstrated now our determination to go after terror. And if the terrorists are organizing camps which are no doubt facilitated by Pakistani agencies in POK, so be it. In that case, in the larger interests or larger national security interests, India has demonstrated its will, its intention to even go across the LOC and take out these miscreants, take out these terrorists, the militants. And they have a lot of camps now setting up. There are news of a lot of camps being set up in this territory, and you have seen a couple of days back we have hit certain camps, and will continue to do that. And the government of the day has decided to act, and we are not overlooking this phenomenon any longer. And this is in all case, in all, if you look at it objectively, this territory belongs rightfully to India. So scaling LOC and going in there, the kind of inhibition that was there earlier is no longer there. So there is a strong logic being offered in India that this is our territory, and if you are going there to destroy these terrorist camps, then Pakistan has no right to intervene, no right to tell us anything, because this is not Pakistani territory. This is a territory which rightfully belongs to India but occupied by Pakistan. So we can go and destroy this territory there. So this is a logic which is being offered at the popular level in India. That is also backing the government's efforts. So in the days to come, you will see more such attempts by Indian security forces to ensure that these terrorist camps do not function as independently, as autonomously as they were doing before.
So for a long time it is well known that India and Tajikistan share diplomatic and defense contracts. Is it that India can strike from both sides to take back POK?
You see, simply because we have a strong tie with Tajikistan doesn't mean that Tajikistan will allow its territory to be used for this kind of activities. We do have very good military and strategic relationship with Tajikistan. But these are questions to be asked only in a very contingent situation. At the moment, there is no such contingency happening. So I don't say that these options will not be explored, but as I told you earlier, only in the face of gravest of provocations, India will be forced to consider all options that are on the table. And Tajikistan could be an option at that point of time. But as of now, I do not see any reason to dwell on even this kind of question.
Yeah. Sir, what would be the next steps, in trying to have India exert a greater influence in POK?
You see, in POK, the first thing that India needs to do is to establish a linkage with the people living there. So as we understand, people in both the so-called Azad Jammu and Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan, the people there are not happy with the way they are being treated by Islamabad. And there is a nominal sense of independence or autonomy granted to the elected governments in both AJK and Gilgit-Baltistan. And the leadership in both these terrain are very, very upset with the way they are being treated by Islamabad. So the local apathies, the local disaffection can be factored in, and a lasting breeze can be established. Lasting breeze can be worked out with the people living in that terrain. There are many people coming out of both AJK and Gilgit-Baltistan in other in European capitals, in US and other countries, who are now urging India to come to their rescue. We have raised this issue at the highest level. The Prime Minister of this country has gone to
So last question. It is well known that villages like Kargil and Totok used to Pakistan villages until 1971, where India redrew the borders. Why is not conceivable to slowly shift the LOC into POK by a few hundred yards for every terrorist attempt that they make? This would surely not exceed the red line.
No, actually, if you shift it for 100 yards and all, you are violating an international agreement that you have made. It's a bilateral agreement. So I don't think time is ripe for taking that kind of measures. We have to strengthen our security system, and because taking it 100 yards away will make the terrorists also or militants also shift it to 100 yards beyond that. So that's not a good way of putting it. Even if you are to claim entire J&K and occupy, to conquer or re-annex entire J&K, we are not hostile unnecessarily. We have every right to protect our interests, and we will try to do everything possible to safeguard our security and strategic interests. That should be the motto.
So, दो क्वेश्चन